Welcome back to Iron Rage, the show where John Romano and I vent our frustrations with the world. And John, before we start today, today's topic, first of all, is why do people online complain when there's commercials on free content? And before you respond, we got to go to a word from our sponsor. Dave Palumbo here with a Species Nutrition Mega Clearance Sale. I know you guys like discounts. This is the greatest of them all. I have 3 products that are expiring by the end of the month, so now's your chance to stock up. Aqualize, my herbal diuretic, $3.99 a bottle. Guys, it's only while supplies last. Barbalize, banana, and fruit punch flavors. You're not gonna believe this. $14.99 a bottle. Guys, I'm telling you, this is gonna go fast. The final rendition of Nitralized Berry Blast Non-Stim. No stimulants in this, $8.99. Get over to speciesnutrition.com right now because I guarantee you I will be out of these probably within hours.
Your Jewish side comes out when you're advertising.
I sound like Crazy Eddie, don't I? You remember Crazy Eddie?
The Jewish Crazy Eddie. Yeah.
I think Crazy Eddie was Jewish.
He probably was. Only a Jew would have that idea.
Crazy Eddie, for those of you who don't know, was a guy who, in the New York tri-state area, had these stores called Crazy Eddie, and he would go crazy, be like, Crazy Eddie can't be beat. Our prices are so low, we're practically giving them all away, you know? He would go nuts on camera, and he actually went to jail for money laundering. Did you know that?
Yeah, he did. He was the first, this was in the 70s. He was the first, kind of carnival balker, salesman on TV. Then they all came after him, Billy Mays and everything. But he was the first guy. Remember the slogan was Crazy Eddie, where the prices are insane. Remember in New Jersey?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Their thing was if within like 60 days you could find the prices cheaper any place, he would beat him. He'd match him. And if you went in with an ad from any other store, they'd beat it by like $1.50 or something like that. So I remember when I got my first computer. This tells you how old I am. The VIC-20, Commodore VIC-20. It was like $100, and it was on sale. It was originally like $800. Then it went down to like $350. I think that's when my parents bought it for me. Well, over the course of like 30 days, it dropped down to like $99, but in 3 increments. And I would ride my bicycle back to the store and get like these refunds, these cash. They'd give you cash actually. I'd come back with like $30, $50, $60. That's a lot of money for a kid back in in the 1980s. And I guess it was unsustainable because it was he went to jail, and ironically enough, my friend Charlie Arms was in jail with him, and he used to work in the kitchen, and Charlie used to intimidate him into giving him free like fruit and vegetables. That was a hot commodity, when you're in jail.
I'll show you how old I am. The first thing I bought from Crazy Eddie was a Fuzzbuster radar detector. It's $9.
That's great. All right, so the topic is, John, people online who complain when there's advertisements on free content. We put up hours and hours of free content every single week, from radio shows to these type of shows, these rage shows, to Iron Debate, to Live With, to Ask Dave. I mean, we have so many TV shows here, and we sustain ourselves and pay for what's going on here through advertising. And yet people will constantly complain that Dave's pushing this, Dave's pushing that. I don't understand it. What do people think? They don't remember back when you actually had to pay for content. I mean, TV's not free anymore. Why should the internet be free? We got to do something to pay for it. What's your take on this?
Well, when people were complaining about magazines being all ads, and the magazines were $7 a piece. Right. So the idea that you log on for free and get content for free and have to endure commercials, God forbid. You know what? The commercial send us $5 every month. We'll not mix the commercials. What do you think? Everything's free? You sound like Bernie Sanders people. This is the real world. Shit isn't free. So if you want content, new content daily, we got to pay for it. We pay for it with advertising. You don't want the advertising? Send in $5. Problem solved.
Maybe we should we should have a part of the website where you could actually pay for content with commercial free. I see that YouTube's doing that now.
A lot of them do. I have a ton of sites that I belong to that I watch, news and bullshit on. Yeah. There's an option. There's a commercial free option, and which costs you, this 2 or 3 levels of membership, and you get various different amenities with each one. And then there's the free one, and you got to endure the fucking shitty connection speed and the crappy commercials. What we should do is we should start making the commercials more. We should make them longer and crappier and more painful to watch. And then have a member section where we don't have the commercials.
No, you know what? I have to say this because you know what? I hate watching commercials too, but you know what the truth of the matter is? The content we're doing is so good, and when I watch content on other YouTube channels, I'm into reptiles and cars, I don't care about the commercials because I'm so happy that I have a vehicle to watch unlimited content. If you're into bodybuilding, I mean, you really can't watch all our content. I mean, there's so much. It's like full-time TV. You don't even have to watch anything else. We have so much content, so many hours per week that you should be in heaven. What's the big deal with a few commercials? Not to mention that most of the stuff we put on RxMuscle, at least, is stuff that I kind of believe in. You know what I mean? It's not like stuff that we're putting out there that this is total schlock that we're trying to push on here.
Or hot girls with big tits. They're always okay to watch on commercials. I'm sure no one minds that, But God forbid you get any kind of sage information or helpful advice. People complain. So it's either TNA or send in $5. I think the solution is so simple, but to get people to part with a fucking penny these days is next to impossible. Everybody wants everything for free, and they want it now.
Well, it goes back to what you always say, John. It's the new I call it the generation of entitlement rather than the millennials, right?
Right. They are entitled. They believe that they should get all their content for free, and that we should somehow foot the bill for creating it and putting it out there. The world just doesn't work like that. Shit costs money. The engineer costs money, the studio costs money, the equipment costs money, our time is worth money, and this is what you guys are getting for free. So we need to sell advertising in order to pay for this stuff. It's a very, very extremely simple concept that's been in practice since TV and radio were first invented. Right. So, stop complaining. If we will happily put together a member section that has commercial-free content, if you're willing to pay for it. Right. And if you want to stop complaining, start paying. Really simple.
John, why do you think I know you love to talk about this, so I'll have to throw it out there. I have to bait John with key trigger words like I used to do with Blackman years ago. John, why do you think that this generation out there, no one wants to work, everyone wants everything for free, they want health care for free, they want everything for free. They want to be paid and compensated when they get hurt. Why is where is this entitlement coming from? Is it our fault as parents?
Yes, 100%. Here's the problem. The child comes into the world now, opposed to generations past, with all the lights green. There's no hardship. There's no, depression. There's no economic, problems, wars, like Vietnam, something all-encompassing like that. I mean, we have our conflicts, but nothing that's, directly affects, these people completely. And they grow up in this, very cushy world that their parents make them, extremely comfortable in. They don't have to do any chores. They have no work to do. Everything's given to them. They're told every day how special they are and how unique they are and how incredible they are. And this is where the term snowflake comes from, because technically no two snowflakes are alike, but I've yet to see somebody prove the point yet. So that's where they, get this idea from, that they're unique and special and that they shouldn't have to do menial things, that someone else will do that for them, that someone will clean up after them, that someone will do things for them, like their homework, and then take their tests for them. And they fall into this whole thing of, entitlement, and they think the world revolves around them because the parents teach them that. If you had parents like my parents that you were afraid of, this shit didn't happen, But these kids walk all over their parents, get away with murder, This is what we get. We have a generation of entitled brats who can't do shit for themselves.
So what does that mean for the future of this country? Are we in trouble?
Nothing but a break, I'll tell you that, because nobody's going to fucking be able to fix it. This is unbelievable what this generation is putting out there. Man, I hate to say it, but the ones that are coming after them are going to be worse, because these millennials and these, generation, whatever it is, X, Next, Spazzo, whatever, hard, they're going to be worthless as parents. They're not going to be able to teach their kids shit because they have nothing to go by. So I'm very worried about the incoming generations, because they're getting less and less and less capable. They're getting more and more dependent on electronics and outside stimulation, and they're getting less and less able to do menial things like check the fucking oil in your car or change a tire or mow the lawn or anything like that. They don't know how to do anything. Nothing. Zero.
It's good that probably they're saying that the new generation that's being born now will never have a driver's license. That's what they're saying, because they'll have automatic cars that just come pick you up and you just jump in the back seat, and you don't have to even do it. You don't even have to drive.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I do not doubt it. I mean, I think you have to really define the definition of progress. What do you find evolutionary in terms of progress? If you think riding around in unmanned cars without the need for a driver's license or know how to drive a car or even how a car works is sage for the future, then I guess that's what you should believe in. But my experience in life is shit breaks, and when it does, you got to know how to roll with it, because if not, you're going to get stuck, and no one likes being stuck.
You're right. You're right. All right. On a final note, we always turn these rages into like a little John Romano update. Steve Bleckman now is writing his own ad proposals. He's now taking over advertising sales at my MD over there, and I know this for a fact because a friend of mine, I'm not going to mention names, but got a proposal directly from Bleckman.
I guarantee you it's not directly from Bleckman, but
that's what I said.
He's not capable of. He can barely send a text. That's the extent of his digital footprint is texting. So, and that took decades to accomplish. So,
well, he stepped up. So the guy said to me who got the proposal from Steve, he said, "I can't believe Steve's sending it." I said, "Well, you got no one working there anymore. So who's going to send it out? If you don't pay salaries, no one works for you anymore.
I wonder how
Ron Harris.
I wonder who is left there.
Ron Harris.
No, I meant of the staff of like the office.
Ron
staff.
Harris.
That's it. There's no secretaries, accountant. None. All the girls are gone.
If you don't pay them, how are they going to stay?
Wow, I didn't know he wasn't paying
gone.
them. That whole thing in Mexico really blew up in his face, because now Keith Sanderson isn't allowed into any IFBB events. He got a formal letter that said from Santoja's office, right, that classifies him as persona non grata within the IFBB and is banned from all IFBB events. Wow. So internationally, so there's no advertising being sold in Latin America for MD Latino, because Kit can't get into any IFBB events.
And why do you think that happened?
Because he's just an upstanding, stellar person who has total morals and compassion for people. And actually, that's really not the story. The story, as I understand it, is this whole thing erupted because of a bill that Bleckman wasn't paying to the printer of MD Latino. And I don't know, several tens or if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And apparently Keith was sending Bleckman the money from the ads that he was getting in, and Bleckman was, of course, funneling that money into the great Bleckman black hole of business, and that saw not 1 ounce of light of day. So he colluded the money, and it's gone, and now the printer wants to get paid. There's no money, and I guess Keith rose to the defense of MD, which is you never defend the indefensible. Yeah. And he got into some heated debates with this person who in turn turned him in, and as I understand it, because of that, Keith is now no longer welcome within any of the international IFBB events.
Wow. You know, I think Blackman's going to wind up next to Bernie Madoff, don't you think, in jail?
I don't know. I mean, other than not, I mean, it's not illegal.
Bernie and I are great friends, John. We have lunch every day together, and I go over my newspapers with him.
I spread out all my work.
He had no one bothering him in prison, right?
Oh, you kidding? He'd be flourish there. All the glutes he could stand. He'd love. I could just picture him. And I don't know how it was when you were in, but when I was in Boron, there was upper. You could look down to where the weights were. You know, I could just picture Blackman perched up there on a elevated viewpoint in the bleachers or whatever. You know, with his yellow pad out, and his red pen, taking note of which convicts had the best glutes.
It'll be like Harvey Weinstein all over again. Maybe he'll be there too with him.
Notice it's always the Jews that get themselves into those trouble.
And on that note, that's going to conclude another episode.
Wait a minute. I got to clarify that.
What?
Because I have some great Jewish friends who I love, and I don't mean them. You being one of them.
Thank you. I'm only half your friend, though.
But it
only half your Jewish friend, I should say.
Yes.
Guys, the take-home message today is stop complaining about free content. Like John said, unless you're willing to pony up, endure it. We're going to keep giving you tons of great stuff to watch on RxMuscle.com. The content will only improve. $5. Content will only improve over the coming months and into next year. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe below. If you have any comments to make, you always do anyway. Put them in the comments below. I'm Dave Palumbo with John Romano for another episode of Iron Rage.
$5, motherfuckers. $5.